Alright, now that you're familiar with Sigma interface, let's try creating something useful. I hit the create button. It will actually warn me if I want to save my previous work. In this case, I'm fine with it. I didn't do anything today, just yet. And here we start Sigma signature from scratch. So if it's first time you see Sigma, and we don't want you to be scared of making something, right? This is why you have the editor. It's made as a foul-proof mechanism that you pretty much can make no mistake in creating something. Of course, we advise to explore a guide written by Sigma creators Florian Ross and Thomas Patzke, where you have a step-by-step instruction how do you create Sigma signatures even without TDM, by using GitHub and by using the Visual Studio Code. And it explains pretty thoroughly what Sigma signatures are. So I suggest you take a look at it to understand the syntax. However, if we are making something from scratch, we have created a template for you. So on the left, you can see the Sigma source code, and it's actually pre-populated with all the feeds that we need to include. So let me make it bigger because I want to see it all on the screen. And I say, okay, I'm creating something. I don't know what right now. It says to me, okay, we need a title and it needs to have something. So let's type it, my first Sigma. All right, I instantly say, okay, next thing I need to set the status. Well, of course, this is something I create just today. So let's find the status and call it experimental. The next hint we get is that we need to decide the priority. Priority will be low because this is a test stuff, right? So we actually will need to set it somewhere. Oh yeah, it's level. Sorry for confusing it, it's level. Now that we entered the minimal fields, I can generate a visual. So on the right, you see there are exclamation marks. Let me click it here and they should disappear. Yes, this is actually the pre-release environment. So if something doesn't work from the first click, please, my apologies. In production, which is coming out in a couple hours, it will work just fine. So now we created a simple construct and now we can explore it further. If I'm an expert, I can type the log sources and event codes right away. If I'm new to Sigma, I will select some product. So let's look at Windows, for example, and we have already a dictionary of all supported log sources. And what is the most found log source in Windows? Of course, Sysmon. So let's grab Sysmon here. And if I want to generate the code, I just click the button, and on the left, I will have the source code generated for me. So here we have Windows and Sysmon. Very straightforward so far, right? And you can then further take it to explore the conditions, set out the fields, define false positives, and create your first signature. Always remember to save your work. So click Save here, and we will actually double check the title and authorship of the signature. So in regarding to authoring, there is a special field in Sigma for it. So please make sure to use your name there. And let's say this is my first Sigma, so I don't need a copy of it. And I'll just say here, testing this for video, and click Save. All right, here we have already created the first template. Let's take it further. So let me take a look at what other Sigma signatures I have and find something that is relevant to Sysmon, because maybe I never wrote signatures for it before. I will search for Sysmon and see everything that is possible here, and I instantly focus my attention on NotPetya. Now, don't ask why, but it just happens to me sometimes. And here I see, okay, there is a FSUT, cleanup, event ID, and so on. So let me grab the detection piece here and go back. And then I will go to detection, paste it, and see if I made any errors. Generate visual. So far so good, we made no errors, and if I expand the detection fields, I actually see this did not work right. So let me find what I did wrong. Again, looking for Sysmon. At this point, maybe it's a good idea to actually open this in editor and have it available in another window, which is what I'm doing now. So here you can explore the structure and say, okay, detection is here. There also needs to be a condition. And let's just copy paste this entire process to a signature and see if it will work. Here we go. Let's generate a visual. Yes, and actually now you can see that we nicely got everything into our visual editor. So since I don't really want to copy exactly the signature, I just wanted to get familiar how to create it, I will remove the unnecessary pieces in my case. So I will remove the event clean, run DLL, and then I will look up for something interesting, right? I know from NotPetya attack, which you can find actually on subprime blog. This is just an article, so no product placements here. This is blog for everybody for free to use. And when we analyze NotPetya attack, we find direct disk access, because it used kill disk to delete the files, and then NotPetya, as you remember, was overwriting MBR. So if we actually want to create something that will find NotPetya or any other ransomware that uses wipers, let's actually find out the sysmon codes which are responsible for that. So I will look up for sysmon event codes and find the docs on Microsoft website. And there we have all the event IDs, and I'm interested particularly in row access rate. So this event actually detects when the process conducts reading operations from the drive. So I want event ID 9, and let's get back to Sigma. So here we are. Yes, this is the right window. So just to clean up the scene on the left, let me generate, oops, that was the wrong one. Let's generate the code, clean up the scenes on the left. Okay, so actually I don't really need this fs2tl style, so I will rename this to direct disk access and expand this to event ID 9. I will also regenerate the code again. We don't need the image name, we don't need the command line in this case. We also would like to include a reference. So let's try to do it. We have reference template. Here is a reference link, and we will actually store the link to Microsoft website. Here we are. And going back to the article, if I didn't close it yet, we actually know that accessing disk directly means that this was action on objective, or actually wiping data. So let's find which MITRE tactics it is. Let's find disk. This is still a test system, so maybe we don't have all the search available yet. And here we have evasion techniques. And let me actually make MITRE bigger, because currently it doesn't fit completely on my screen. So I will just drag things around a little bit and see what we have here. Access token manipulation, clear history, command disabling security tools, file deletion, yes. And let's see if examples, if we see something. We have Lazarus group, we have a lot of things that are actually deleting the files, but I don't see black energy or NotPetya here, so maybe this is not the best technique for me. Let's continue looking indicator blocking and other things here. So just because it's a test system, I will go to MITRE attack and find it here. And let's look for MBR bootkit. Yes, that's what I was looking for. So we actually have the bootkit access master boot record, which is tactic persistence, and technique is called bootkit. So let's go back to our Sigma. Tactic is persistence, and technique is bootkit, which is sorted out alphabetically. So yeah, here we can actually see exactly the thing I found on MITRE website. So as soon as our search is working, this will be done in one tool. And yes, you can see these things. And you know that NotPetya was actually using bootkits, right? Same as Black Energy. So we will just now click on bootkit, click add to Sigma, and the code is successfully generated. So this means that at the bottom we also have MITRE TCK linked right into Sigma. Let's update the visual, and let's actually rename the Sigma as NotPetya Bootkit Detection via Sysmon. How about that? So let's click Save. The signature is now being saved. This is still testing for the video, so let's just keep it here for now. And since I created my first signature, maybe I want to share it with this community. It's still experimental, so I wouldn't recommend to keep it, and it still needs a lot of edits, like editing the conditional fields and false positives. So false positives, I can actually say legit tools like gpart or whatever. The tools which are used to edit disk parts. Yes, that's the right one. Click Save again, and now I can actually click Save one more time, just in case. And I can share the signature back to the community. So here we can share it private for my community, for my company. So let's share it for community, click Submit. And that's how we created Sigma signature in a matter of about 10 minutes, which is still faster than going to the theme and creating it yourself. Now if we go back to the catalog, we should see our signature over here. And here we have it, NotPetya Bootkit Detection via Sysmon. And maybe this will be a more useful signature in future. For now, it's just a test.